Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. This is another edition of New York by Night in the Vampire venue. Our scene is set within Yorksville, the newly acquired domain of the CSI coterie. We are placing the scene within one of New York's more popular eateries, Gotham Pizza. The flashing open neon sign flickers slightly as the late night crowd shuffle in zombie legs on a Sunday evening to get their baked, processed cheesed product of sugar and other such unhealthy items. 3 individuals stand at the counter taking their order, looking a little out of place in this part of town. And the scene begins.
Go calmly place his order. He's going to be, let's see, he'll be getting just pepperoni, with extra pepperoni. He'll be getting a medium pizza.
Benjamin, because I can't call him Pierce when we're together. We'll just order 3 larges with the works, which may horrify York somewhat.
That's all going to come up, man. It's all going to come up.
Yeah, it is.
James is looking pretty out of sorts, despite the fact that he's wearing his a very clean shirt and suit. His hair is immaculate. His skin seems a little pinkish, like as if it's being rubbed raw. His eyes are sort of bloodshot and red. His telltale, illuminating smile has gone to that of a sort of internal thought. His eyes dart around the room constantly, and occasionally he rubs his hands. He orders nothing, just waiting for his companions to collect their food. And as soon as they're done with their order, he will immediately go to the quietest corner and slide into a booth, hands folded on the plastic table, looking disparagingly at the various stains of previous diners.
Actually, Pierce is going to order a large drink without ice, too.
Let's look at James, York say, let's hit the road. Car will be cleaner.
Yeah, I'll meet you 2 out there. I'll grab the stuff.
They head out into the night, past the swinging glass door into the into the paved streets of New York, the sound of traffic, the honking of cabs. James, not needing to spend the blood, but sort of brings himself like he's having a sudden chill, and wraps the jacket over him a little bit tighter.
York is he's going to spend the moments while they're waiting to quickly check for bugs on their items. Rolling. 1 success. He doesn't think there's any. There probably isn't. Once he's done that, he'll just start waiting. He's like, you seem a little bit tired.
Out of sorts, tired. I'm freaking out, York. Like this last week, I've been trying to leave the house, and I can't. I've been trying to get hold of you for a week, but I haven't been able to bring myself to leave the house. I'm like, work's cold. Like I haven't been able to maintain my illusion of normalcy, which is a problem. But things are happening. Like I need to speak to you and Ben, because I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, in all honesty.
Benjamin will back out of the door of the place and meet you guys outside. He'll just toss York his keys.
Yeah. Open up. He'll check inside as well. Everything's starting in. He checks with the mirror, make sure that nobody's slipping in obfuscated, that kind of type thing. And waits for him to start moving before continuing the conversation.
The three of them wait in silence for a good 5 minutes, James staring out the window at the passing traffic and the street lights zooming past. Once he feels that they've gone a decent distance and there's no traffic to stop them.
Yeah, in the 5 minute span, Benjamin's going to pull a piece of pizza out with a couple napkins, and he's going to start eating it.
God damn, man, that stuff stinks.
He'll crack the window.
What's got you so riled up, James?
You know, about a year ago, when you and yours got me out of that situation when I had my episode?
Yes.
It's happened again. This time, I wasn't alone. This time, I was with people that I knew, like Charlotte, like Auntie, other members of the city. They were all there, and when I asked them about it, they knew. They had the same experience. And what's even more freaky is the fact that, like, they were mentioning names that my sire like spoke of in utter fear, and they're acting like it's all fucking okay, like it's a great happy family reunion. They're all absolutely. They think it's all happy times when really, well, last time this happened, York, as far as I'm aware from the what I heard back in my sanctuary, was that some sort of infernal creature rose in the city.
Well, we need to keep working on making sure that doesn't happen. He'll take out a briefcase, takes out a dossier, hands it back towards James. This is the information that was passed on to me, but a little bit light on the details you were asking for, unfortunately. Really, when it comes to psychiatrists, apparently it's just going to have the her name, which you already knew, Lenore Lulan, and her address where she works. That's it. It's not the medical number and the different things you were looking for. We will just have to move forward. Help you with this. If this is starting to register more, it's only a matter of time before your clan or your family are known for being sensitive to these kind of things. But if it keeps building up, it's only a matter of time until, well, we all know most of the psychics and other individuals running about are full of shit. But there's a few of them who are a little bit more clued in. It's only a matter of time before they start getting clued in.
I prefer not to have to go on a killing spree.
As would I.
I'm starting to think that our coterie name is starting to be quite prolific.
James will nod. I'm like, God damn it. Motherfucker! Benjamin will nod. This is the problem with playing a character named James yesterday in a different game.
Now, as I said before, the woman, Camille, Lenore, is her psychiatrist, and she may have a few more details that may be of use to abstract theirs. But the list of the other individuals, you have the names there. But Andrew Olsen and, more importantly, Mother Agnes being of significance. I suspect those are the higher up members of this cult. and start tracking them down. We can start putting an end to this before it develops further.
I'm starting to think this is going to be a lot deeper than just some mortals mucking around with candles and incense.
Oh, he looks back. It is. This kind of a thing put the moved Mukhtar Bey into action quite swiftly and pronouncedly some time ago. In addition to that, I've seen the blades they use. I told you about them before.
Yeah.
Custom jobs, just cheap, in a way, cheap knockoffs of the main one, but still, when they wield them, they have a somewhat foreboding presence. I wouldn't want to let them make contact.
Without sounding blasé of the situation, York, but they are all mortal, we know, right?
I suspect that there is other involvement, likely at least partially.
I'm just going to point something out, James.
Yeah.
Mortals can do some of what we can do too. And that's when things get even messier.
The blades that are being used, I've used ways to detect. They're definitely not natural, but it's not from our side of the fence. So that there's likely some distant relatives involved. It's not the only odd thing that's going to be cropping up.
It's just trying to find them. It should be easy enough if we can just, well, names are a start. But I'm worried. I don't think this ends just with this cult. I have a favour to ask both of you. I know that your family keeps extensive records on history, especially our own. What would be the chance of me being able to research, particularly my family's history?
If you pass on the details, I can look into it for you while you focus on these other matters. But unfortunately, the kinds of places that you're looking for access to are the kinds of places they're in.
You walk into one of our
archives.
archives.
And leave.
Yeah, you go into one of our archives, and there's people like me that keep you from coming out.
Now it wouldn't mean necessarily you die, but you would be kept
No, you just
there.
wouldn't be let out.
It's not unprecedented, but give me the details you want researched. I'll see what I can do.
Fine. I mean, hell, if you can just get some photocopies or at least give me some vague information which to draw on. It would be better if I could see the original objects so I can second sight them. But your clan is also renowned for that gift, so fine.
Yeah, James will actually kind of look at York sideways, and he'll look back at James. If you ever think something came out of one of our archives, you probably don't want to second sight it anyway.
What's it gonna do to me that hasn't already been done?
Some of our family members are very inventive.
Yeah, Benjamin. It's not so much that he's uncomfortable, it's more along the lines of he doesn't want to suggest something.
Fine. I will try, and I will try and remember, and I will let you know what details I can. But I want to stress upon you both the seriousness of this. Like, this isn't me just barking at the moon. This is me actually like wanting to, I don't know, go into the deepest ocean and just staying there because the surface has now become too fucking terrifying.
Benjamin will finish off his slice of pizza. Wipe his
Now,
hand on the napkin, wipe his mouth, say, "Yeah, no, I don't think you're howling."
there is another thing not too many know of in the city. Um, I'll let you in on it since you'll be helping with the cult problem. There was a book retrieved from Utah. You might have heard of this before everything went much, much worse there. But this book is old. I've decrypted and translated it, but it focuses on myths. It's somewhat of an Islamic bent. Unfortunately, I'm flush out of a shearer in this neck of the woods to consult on the matter. But the first story focuses on one of Muhammad's grandchildren at the Battle of Karbala that Setites may have been trying to assassinate him. The next one focuses on how Saddam and Gomorrah and Lot, it just focuses on they were not, there's not too Saddam-y or instances like that, but that they were actually demons and infernalists. Now, it goes on about King Solomon towards the end. One of the parts that struck out to me, I think, which is more related, given that this cult seems to be trying to summon up something, some great, powerful, dark, ancient entity. But there is a line which translated, it says, example things from one. Darkness will be open with holy light. Holy light will fade and darkness will take its place. Sun, month, year is needed to open the door for the darkness. There is a drawing as well near this of a man lying on a floor. Right before him there is a sacrificial circle. There are 3 knives on it. The knives look like they're being used, being put into keyholes of a sort. Unfortunately, although I don't think it's going to be too much of a surprise given your feelings, there's an unknown timetable on this. So this cult does have to be stopped. Unfortunately, the court, the sheriff, there's a myriad of issues. As much as they're not ignoring the issue, they're perhaps not giving it the top billing I fear it should be. On that matter, however, last night I helped them. Well, we stopped a dead man of an altogether different variety, and he won't be coming back. Unrelated matter.
Sorry to interrupt your flow, York. Do we have any more details of these knives/keys? Is there any symbolism on them in this picture that might indicate if they're physical, like keys, knives, or where they can be found?
This cult uses knives, as they refer to them as Dementor blades, and they are copies of the one original. The original blade may be apocryphal. They're cheap knockoffs to a degree, but they certainly have some level of inherent power and ability in them. If you want to examine one, I could make it available.
Do you have a copy? Could you photocopy an image of the that image you say was in the book?
Yes, I'll do my best to get an approximation to you.
Maybe give keys. This sort of occult history is more your guys' forte, not mine, but I can certainly ask around, see if anything's cropped up.
I'm working on cultivating a relationship with some local PD. So
On that note, I had a conversation with the Prince last night. As you know, as I indicated in my previous message, we now have a domain, not the largest, but certainly suitable for our needs for the moment. And on that note, I did say that the cult activity is attracting more police attention. I didn't indicate to him how a few things could be of use, and as an extra carrot, I've convinced him that if we can, he looks more particularly towards mention, particularly if you can help deal with this cult matter, he will use his sway within the police, perhaps getting a persona and ID for someone working in New York Police Department's Internal Affairs Department. Such an item I think would be useful to you.
Benjamin's eyes will actually, or his eyebrows will actually go up a little bit, and he'll say, "Did you mention to him what my original plan was?"
Not overly much, but I imagine he's got his roots set into the police department and might be able to expedite your timetable on that front. And, well, internal affairs can crop up all over the different boroughs, as I understand it.
Yeah, Benjamin nods. He goes, "Yeah, it also makes other cops uncomfortable. Not that I know what that feels like or anything. Just kind of giving a half smile to James in the back seat when he says that.
You can always still forward on with your own plans, but I thought that might be useful to you, and probably a little bit harder to get an internal affairs ID than a regular police officer one.
Yeah, I'm not sure I could get my hands on an actual internal affairs ID to forge."
Well, for my own part, I have begun my recon and current investigation of Busy Bee Cleaning Company within Manhattan. They have a lot of clients within large businesses and also with the infrastructure of the city. They clean hospitals, boardrooms, police stations, all manner of places which might be useful for us to get in. Plus, it gets around the idea of domain in the fact that they're a separate entity. So people that believe that the police or the media is their domain, it shouldn't. I mean, it might raise a few eyebrows, but it doesn't. It's technically part of, you know.
Benjamin's going to shake his head and say, "Anyone who thinks a concept is a form of domain is an ignorant fool who's probably going to get killed by an elder in the next 5 years."
But people can get rather indignant when they see that you're sniffing around in there and what they perceive to be their territory.
Well, if they get indignant and they become a problem, you let me or York know. I've got experience dealing with that kind of issue.
Unfortunately, my new duties as well as helping out with the sheriff and the court have kept me very busy, so I haven't been able to agent that fair. However, I do have a stockpile of loose money that may be of use, bribes or legitimate buying of different things. Looks back at James, but I imagine 10,000 would be useful.
James is taken a little bit aback by the amount of cash. I couldn't possibly ask for that amount of money.
James, we all work together. We all benefit from each other's benefiting. I'm interested in this cleaning company too. Loose cash, mostly small bills. It's money I've been saving up for the last while. I've been unfortunately not as free to aid you in this endeavour given changes. But that doesn't mean I don't want to help. And don't think you're ever alone in any of this. You can always come to us. I'll have the money available and ready for you later tonight.
Hopefully it won't be necessary, but it's always good to fall back on.
This is... Right. I'm not trying to offend you, James. How good are you at stealing things?
Stealing? He's taking a gasp. Good lord.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Why would you ask such a thing?
Because occasionally I need to borrow an ID so I can make a fake one.
Oh,
Nick,
if
would
you're
you like to make
planning to give it back,
Would you like to make perception alertness roll, Nick,
Sure.
as you're talking?
Da, 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 da. Burp, derp, derp.
And yes, it is difficulty 4 for me.
The numbers are not loading.
They are for me. You got 10, 1, 2, and 9. So you get 1 success. York has 4. So yeah, it's just going to be, somehow in his hand. I don't know if James wants to roll as well, see if he can, if he spots York doing it.
what am I rolling? Sorry,
Perception alertness.
exceptional alertness.
Yeah.
I'm not currently active with Allspec, so I won't count it.
Yeah.
But I do have a specialty, so that's 4 successes.
Okay. James will see York very deftly. He's actually somehow removed, unless the player says there's no watch in it. He's actually removed the watch from Benjamin's wrist. Benjamin doesn't seem to have noticed at all. And he just he has it for a moment or two while you were talking, he's just taking it. And he just waits a few moments for it to finish up the sentence. It's like, you mean something like this? And he just has between the 2 fingers he has to watch.
Benjamin will look down at his wrist, shake his head, take it back from you, and go, yeah, but you're busy.
True. What IDs do you need?
Depends on what we can get hold of. Private investigator license, innocuous medical IDs from hospitals or whatever.
Medical IDs I can do easily.
I can. Right. So there's different levels of fake ID. Let's say there's the crappy. This might get me past the bouncer or the guy at the bar if I'm a teenager. I try to keep a handful of those on me at any given time. It's an old trick I picked up. If you walk up to a bouncer or a guard in some places, and you flash an obviously fake ID, and they call you out on it, and you sort of pull them off to the side and you show them the private investigator license, they'll react a lot better from that point forward.
Let's see. Last I checked, because he smiles, I don't throw useful things away, even if I have no immediate use. I've got 2 medical licenses, 1 police license, 3 gun licenses, and 1 hospital ID. Unfortunately, I had to clean up a few corpses. Didn't make them, it was the cult, but you don't throw useful things away. Their current owners aren't using them, but obviously the ID numbers, and they'll have been missing, bodies not found for about 2 months now. But still a good basis for forgeries.
The point of a fake ID is to avoid having someone run the numbers on them to begin with. Most people just see the badge or the ID and go along with whatever. It's confident.
Friend in the coroner's office of the police department, if you want access there. But for the actual mainstay police, I'm afraid York's going to have to be your man for that one.
James will nod. I could probably get some stuff from the police myself. I know all the jargon, but yeah, no, I'll put together a shopping list of useful things, and we'll compare notes on that front. The main trick when you're using a fake ID or a badge of some kind is just it's confidence.
Right. So the plan of action, if we have one, is try and grill this psychiatrist for whatever information perhaps has been leaked to them, or at least a way of getting in contact with some of these reformed cult members. if we could try and get the find the particular agents in the police department that are following up on the same one we are, that would save us a lot of lead work, as the mortals would have probably done a lot of research for us. If we can get hold of their investigation notes,
I'll see what I can.
in, but I'm still a bit fuzzy with how the gifts of being unseen truly work.
I'll
Walk
see. I'll see what I can get from the cops.
And so, what is the end goal, York? What is the prime piece of information that we want? Do we want to know where
We want to get to corner members of the cult, and from there we start prying more information, more loose. Use them to go higher up. He looks towards Pierce. I believe that's how the police deal with gangs and organised crime. You catch a little fish and move to the bigger fish, but we won't be letting the little fish go. They'll be dealt with.
The way we're going about it, James. We're pulling on a thread. The thread is going to lead, from the end of the tapestry, the thread is going to lead to a thicker thread, which is wound up with many other threads, and when you start pulling on that, stuff just starts to come unraveled.
I see. Yes. That's probably it's going to be slow, and this timetable doesn't fill me with confidence, but it's probably the best way we have so far.
Yeah, most investigations are slow and tedious, even if you are pressed for time. Sometime when I'm not running around a new city trying to establish a network and a foothold, I'll tell you about some of the time I spent in Chicago.
Is there any pattern to where these killings have been taking place? Have you tried to triangulate like a sort of at least an area of Manhattan in which they're most likely to be concentrated?
I'm not sure. This matter was ongoing before I came into the city. Perhaps as we spoke to Sheriff before, Hound's Blaine has been one of the hounds following up, although I don't think he would have followed up on that kind of a lead. But it's not impossible, and he may have further details.
I'm not sure Spillane has time for anything right now. But Benjamin's going to take that and take a drink.
Goes
But
right.
he was helping out last night.
Oh, that's good to know.
In fact, I'm going to perception empathy you, Ben, because James doesn't understand your reference. And
I relent to your challenge. Seems like, Benjamin thinks...
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
Yeah. Like I said, I relent to your challenge.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like Benjamin is under the impression that Mr. Spillane is far too occupied by something to have any time for anything else in the world.
Ah, the coitus.
Benjamin's actually going to laugh into his cup and half choke for a second.
York just looking out the window as if he'd heard nothing.
I can see how that would distract him from his duties. But surely he must understand that this is more important. Maybe we should have a word with him.
Benjamin's just going to hold his hands up and go, I'm not going to get involved in his business. I've only met him once. We had a rather pleasant conversation. He embarrassed the hell out of himself.
Yes. I think it's to the point where he's doing as much damage to himself as anything, just to leave him be. I suspect he would get
Agitated?
Yes, agitated's a good word for it. And both him and object of his affections are a member of the artist formerly known as Prince, and they we do not want to draw their art.
Have
There
they
is an awful lot of them.
have they changed their name yet? I hadn't been paying attention this week.
No. They've kept with the one, but then again, they haven't any decided to adopt any new members, and I'm sure it's their trademark at the stage. Um, Although I have to say, I do prefer Invictus to some of the previous names.
And now they just sound like an Illuminati cult.
Yes, I still prefer it to some of their previous names.
Oh, I wasn't
But,
saying I didn't prefer it either.
I think they're going to. If we get involved, we'll only get dragged down as well. Not that they're necessarily all incompetent, but there's an awful lot of them. They may be able to pull it off, but given some of the personalities, I see it as a matter of time before they start to implode.
To put it to you this way,
Especially
I don't want to be anywhere near the boat while it's sinking. That's how
Belaine
you
and
get dragged
Whitaker.
under.
I don't think that's going to last. And when that goes, anyone in the vicinity is going to get burned, which means that coterie. I think they'll do a crack down the middle. But I could be wrong.
People are just very complicated things sometimes.
Some people seem to think they still have a pulse.
Well, it's what keeps us all going. Ben, we should not forget where we came from.
Yeah, but there's certain points where you have to reevaluate how you think of things. Point in case, the Toreador Primogen. I don't want to be in a room alone with her. She makes me uncomfortable.
No. Do not get caught in a room with her. She alone, I mean.
No,
I,
don't want it. Like I said, she just makes me uncomfortable. I can't look at her straight on. I mean, honestly, put me in a room full of Nosferatu. I'm good. Room alone with her? No. Just not natural. Because out of character, appearance 5, guys.
Right. So, is there anything else we should be? Well, we have plenty to work on. Is there anything we want to do with this new domain, while we have it?
well, I'm aiming to expand it in time, and once I've done work on the new Elysium to a certain point, I'll be looking for some personal domain as well, because I'm not doing all that work for free.
You're the keeper.
Except you didn't ask me if I wanted the job.
Should we think about perhaps how we're going to defend this domain, or at least keep tabs on it?
Next month I'll be able to start putting up an infrastructure. This month he's just got to throw his hands up. New city, foothold, etc.
There doesn't seem to be much here. He's just looking out the window. You say it's small, but it's big enough to have cracks.
Indeed. We'll have to fortify it in our own ways. Nothing to avert, of course. That just attracts attention. But I suspect that Benjamin will be better at that than I.
I'll draw up some plans. Sit down and talk with you about it over the week. I actually need to wander through the area a bit more.
Aye, a pleasant stroll perhaps. Try and find these small nooks and crannies where the forgotten rest is often a good place to start.
It's a lot easier to walk through a neighborhood than it is a city, especially in parts of those cities, you've been told things will jump out and eat you.
True. I'm particularly interested in areas that are underdeveloped, places that are maybe looking for new ownership. It,
Define underdeveloped.
I mean, anything from a broken down parking garage to rat infested motels, places that are a blight on the city, a weeping sore of this cesspool of humanity. They're usually good places in which to dig in and clean, because you start at the source with turpentine and bleach.
Oh, I'm going to teach you the joyous wonders of tenement buildings. You're going to love those. Yeah, I'll see what I can actually find for you and dig some other stuff up while I'm at it. Like I'm having to go in 5 or 6 different directions at once, so it's slowing me down a bit.
If you need a hand on anything, then please, I would like to lighten the load. We all
I,
have a lot on the plate we shouldn't all expect.
yeah, Benjamin shakes his head. Most of it's just getting to know the area. I need to figure out where I can go and where I can't, and where I need to be careful about who I talk to. Yeah, it's the same thing that happens every time you walk into a new city and you start putting down roots. Out of character, I have the new kid flaw.
Ah, in that case, who do we know within the court who makes it their business to know where everybody resides? Um, I know the head harpy is currently of my clan, but I wouldn't trust that my particular family member to tie their own shoelaces, let alone be able to guide me safely through the city.
Uh, no, I'm pretty good at avoiding other kindred. It's the mortal side of things. I'm trying to be careful about where I step
Ah,
because I don't want to walk into the middle of an ongoing undercover investigation. If you get my drift.
Mm.
well,
Fortunately.
is the Trinity Church is residing in Yorksville. I have contacts within the charity circuit in the local churches. It's always a good place to meet all walks of life of people.
I may take you up on that.
Unfortunately, last night, as I said, we dealt with a undead of a very different kind. Although it was a rather unique individual. He was a member of the court, but after his final death, somehow came back very different.
I'm sorry. What?
Yes, I know, but with the help of our local Giovanni, we've sent him packing in a spiritual sense, and
No, 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 no. Backtrack. He's actually making the hand gesture. Member of the
I
court.
was not there for all the investigations. I never met him. That's what made him so dangerous, as I understand. It was something that was not kindred, that had formerly been kindred, that came back,
That's not how.
knowing.
Yeah, like Benjamin's actually like giving you the half squinty-eyed look of, you know.
This is what I was told. I've never met the fellow before that night. However, our local Giovanni got rid of the spirit, and, well, his ashes are now floating in the Hudson. I dealt with them personally.
So, who is this local Giovanni?
His second name's actually Giovanni. I just call him Mr. Giovanni. Reasonable enough fellow, taking a shine to Lady Whittaker. Kind of gives him a meaningful look, which annoyed Hans Spillane no end, and just
Right. Let me paint you a picture.
Oh, I love pictures.
I want you to imagine Spillane sitting next to Whittaker. All right,
Okay.
arm around her. Right. Mr. Giovanni comes in. Mr. Giovanni seems polite and pleasant to me. All of a sudden, Mr. Spillane is, you know how the kids are in nightclubs these days? Where
No.
they're, okay, I'll have to find you a TV show.
Okay.
It's just grinding on her, all over her, touchy feely, doing everything but drooling on her if he could.
James actually looks really uncomfortable at this point. Very uncomfortable.
That's
That's
about
the
how
only one.
I felt watching it.
I did not stop them or him mainly. She didn't indicate for him to stop, so in a way she was encouraging it. If they want to make a fool out of themselves publicly in Elysium, well, I'll let the repercussions come back to bite them. I don't need to intervene in that circumstance.
On a side note, since you brought it up, uh, have you found a site yet?
Yes, working on it, drawing up some plans with a new associate of mine, and I'll be talking with the prince about the matter soon.
I've actually sort of got a schedule down, assuming my brain doesn't implode over the next few weeks. I'll be able to start setting up defenses next month.
Good. Now, on the Central Park issue,
There's a
we all
Central
know it's a
Park
no-go.
issue?
It's a no-go area.
Oh,
Give it a wide berth. Given some of the comments made last night, because we were near it, and they were very anxious not to draw too much attention and keep any gunfire to a limited amount. So there was some arson involved in killing that thing. That's it. They did drop a few key phrases when they were talking about it. Didn't apply because sometimes it's just best to listen. I find out an awful lot that way, James. And as you know yourself, the word lupines came up.
That would explain a lot.
lupine, sorry?
Werewolves. Or that's a close approximation, at least. Apparently that's their stomping grounds, and let's keep it clear.
Yeah, listen, we're a couple of blocks away from it border-wise, if what I remember you telling me is correct.
Yes. I think we'll be... If it was a problem from a few blocks away, I don't think there'd be anybody on Manhattan Island. But I think we're doing relatively okay. But that said, he looks back at James. I don't know which of the legends are true, which aren't, but Silver doesn't do jack shit to those bastards. I heard before there was an incident around these parts where some of them came and attacked a chantry. I don't know what they had done. They unloaded entire clips of Silver ammunition. It didn't phase the bastards one bit at all. So don't count on Silver. That's what the experiences and tales handed down have told us.
Because out of character, we're not metagaming dipshits. In character.
Yeah, and that's the only thing we'd have a chance of fucking knowing about, because it didn't appear to work.
In character, yeah, James is going to shake his head. I'll factor that into my my plans for securing the region.
Well, hopefully we won't have to deal with them at all. They live and let live, is what I say.
The second tradition exists for a reason.
Exactly.
But the prince may be interpreting it liberally, but he's got the right idea.
You mean first tradition, Nick? That's great, first.
Sorry.
I'm correcting out of character because I know in character you wouldn't make that mistake.
In character, yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of Kane, actually. Because when it's the first tradition for the Camarilla, but it's the second tradition Kane put down.
I didn't know you were superstitious, Benjamin Kane.
No, that was out of character. Man.
Oh, right, no.
Yeah.
Don't know shit about Kane in character. But yeah, no, Benjamin will say first tradition. Sorry. But yeah.
But Well, that's new useful information at least. And hey, we've got our recognized piece of turf, our stocks going up, so to speak, if we can help resolve this issue. And at this stage, I think the sheriff can use all the help she can get. I think the court can use all the help she can get. Hell, I wouldn't mind a few Archons jumping in on this, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, James, quick question.
Shoot.
Just, curiosity. Based on everything York's been doing for the city for the past couple months, they made him keeper of Elysium without asking him. Working on this case and several other things. Would you by chance happen to recognize him within the city?
Well, of course I would recognize him. He's my friend.
Well, no, your personal experience outside of it.
I don't understand what you're trying to say, Ben.
If a harpy looked at you and said, do you acknowledge this person? Do you recognize this person? Do you respect this person? Etc.
Oh, of course.
Okay. He's going to look York right in the eyes, hold up one finger. That's one.
Super.
What are you two planning?
Oh, he's not planning anything. I'm somewhat offended.
Don't worry, I'll remember the slides. I'll do it in time. But there's an awful lot going on. I won't be petty right now.
You don't need to be petty. I'll be petty enough for everyone.
One
They
thing
won't
at a
even-
time. Let's get this cult under wraps first, and then we can pull on your threads elsewhere.
Oh, no, this is a side thing, and they won't even realize it's happening until it's done.
Do you want to let us in?
So they made... He's going to point at York. Keeper. He hasn't been acknowledged. He hasn't been recognized for his position. I'm going to fix that. There's a certain point to where if enough people within a court actually see someone as having a particular level of status, they have that level of status, regardless of what the Harpies or Prince want.
Well, it's one of those. I mean, if you were looking for status, I could bend the ear of Auntie. I mean, I'm not.
Okay, she should know her job.
What'd you say?
James,
It's okay, she should know her job.
James will shake. Or God damn it, Benjamin. I played a wizard named James yesterday, Matt. Sorry. Well, that's not his real name, but you know. Benjamin will shake his head and go, "No. Don't bother. It's gonna take a little while, and after it happens, they'll remember not to do it again." He's gonna look back at James and say, "This court doesn't operate like it's in the Camarilla. It operates like it's an anarch freehold."
Speaking as a neonate for the Camarilla in this city, there's too many neonates in this city.
That's New York. It's the city of neonates.
Yes, because anybody with higher station and more experience knows not to fucking come here.
Not everyone's as mad as I am.
Yeah, York just shakes his head.
Well, if we allow it to carry on, like we don't like the anarchs. I've got nothing against anarchs as individuals. They're all very fine people. I'm sure they've all had difficult pasts, and that's why they have to act out. But if a Camarilla city isn't structured, why that's just another word for weakness. And we're only a
Benjamin,
spit's throw away from the others. The
Benjamin will nod and go, "That's why I'm working on the side project. That's the first step." I don't mean to come off as condescending, but occasionally you have to teach the children after they've been taught, and it will remind their parents, who should know better.
well, let's just see how it all plans out. Well, is there anything else, gentlemen?
No, but I think, well, despite the more information being bad, I think your mood looks somewhat improved, James.
I always feel better when there's a plan in place, when things are organised. That's why I like hanging out with you two so much.
We do like plans. Kind of drilled into us, if you don't have a plan, you're going to get fucked. Even a loose one can do.
Um, I'm gonna set up some boat holes in our territory over the next couple months. I'll make sure you guys have some of those addresses. Some of them will overlap, some of them will not.
Just so it's so it's in scene, as it were, James will take out a notepad, roughly sort of begin sketching out what he recalls from his nighttime experience, including names of various famous individuals within the canon that he can recall, and pass it to York. Any information will be good.
I'll see what I can do. Later that night, York will meet up with each of them. I've already got some of blue booking. He will give Benjamin Pierce basically all the IDs he picked up. I'll mess you on the exact numbers in a bit. And James Pierce, he'll, in like one or two duffel bags, there'll just be like lots of small bags, all ordered and whatever. Just like, yeah, there's like, he's just giving you like 10,000 cash because, yeah, he's been a vampire long enough. It's like money is money. Like it's useful, but no, it helps. It helps you, which helps him. Long-term investments. It's not completely altruistic. It's never completely altruistic, but you can find ways to look altruistic while benefiting yourself if you're a good vampire.
Benjamin will actually meet you for that in Chantry, and we'll just keep them in the house.
Oh yeah, meet you in the Chantry, but James won't be going to Chantry. Then he'll be doing some research on good folk STs.
Maybe one day. Piggyback onto.
I could totally maybe swing for you to come in. It's just all your scenes will be in the Chantry from then on.
I can just off specs out. No, you can't.
My brain.
I'm gonna walk through this. I'm back in my body. Oh my god, my head hurts.
Yeah, Auspex jumps are not a good idea in Chantries.
The look on someone's face when they try to do that once in a game.
Before we devolve completely into out-of-character chat, let us just say that now plans are made, directions are sought, and CSI are on the case.